Hey, what's up guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of Project Tranmere, and today is a very big day as we will be beginning our next season, our first season in the championship, the second tier of the English Football League pyramid. Of course, we're off the back of back-to-back promotions as champions through League 2 and now League 1. And while I'm nervous to see what happens in our first season in the championship, it is a very big step up. I'm optimistic that at the very least we'll find some stability. I don't expect us to be champions. I don't expect us to even make it into the playoff format to have a chance at getting promoted to the Premier League. But I am quite hopeful that we won't see ourselves get relegated right back down to League 1. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, let's get to a couple of your comments. First and foremost, Andrew Gibby, if I do a Nations United series on this, which again, for anybody, I mean, it's not an unfamiliar thing though, especially on FIFA, but with what we do on NHL, using just players from one nation, building them up, I'm not against it being Belgium, but I'll leave it up to you guys as far as that goes. Whatever nation, whether it be a Belgium, a Cameroon, a New Zealand, it'll be up to you guys at that point in time. As Sox mentions, we had been doing a USA series on Twitch. Haven't really followed up with that much online, but I've been playing through it offline. It's been a lot of fun, so I wouldn't be surprised if that is the next series. And if it is, it'll be up to you guys what team we use. Isaac Higgs, thank you. I appreciate that. I always like to hear how long people have been around for, so that's pretty sweet. Peter Tikich, would I ever do a 2K series? I used to be really into the NBA series, but there's just so much negativity surrounding it. I mean, I do love franchise modes, but I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I can't say right now at this point in time that I'm particularly interested in it. So don't hold your breath on that, but maybe at some point in the future. And the last comment I wanted to get to was from Silent Knight. First and foremost, the fact that you're enjoying the series despite being new to FIFA and I guess the sport in general is amazing. To give you a look at the talent levels that we're going to be dealing with as we continue to move onward. If you look at some of the top teams in the Premier League, whether it be a Liverpool with only one player under an 81 overall, that being one of the better young players in the league right now. If you look at a Man City, I mean, nobody under an 81, and I mean, God, Kevin De Bruyne at a 91. You can see the talent levels that we're going to be dealing with if we get promoted in this next season. It's going to be fairly ridiculous. And when you want to talk about the Champions League and the talent level that we're going to be dealing with, it's not going to be any easier, whether it be the likes of a PSG, whether it be the likes of a Bayern, and then, of course, you know, God forbid, you get down to Spain. I mean, even Juventus, I mean, with Ronaldo, of course, at this point, but, you know, God forbid you get down to Spain, and then you want to talk about the fact that, oh, I don't know, just some clubs named Real Madrid, which, of course, are just, oh, God, let's try and get through them, and Barcelona as well. Like, that's the talent level that we're going to have to try and compete against at some point. Are we at that point yet? No, I don't expect us to get promoted this season, like I mentioned. But if you look at the default rosters right now, and some of the bigger clubs, at least in name, a club like Aston Villa, you know, players in the 70s, we're close to being able to compete with a team like Villa at this point. Or if you look at Hull City, who, granted, they're in a little bit of a rebuilding form after getting relegated. Middlesbrough as well, who were in the Premier League recently, you know, 70s. So we're close to being able to compete, and who knows, maybe we will have a phenomenal season this time out. I think Stoke and Swansea, at least in terms of overall, are some of the higher ups at this point in time in the championship. If you look at the level of team that we're competing with here in the near future, easy for me to say, if you look at that level of team that we're going to be going up against in the championship, we have a chance to maybe do some business, to do some damage in this upcoming season. But if you want to talk about our chances in the Premier League, right now, at least with this squad, it would be a battle to not be immediately relegated back to the championship. And in terms of this team somehow ever getting close to competing in the Champions League, probably not. We're quite a bit of a ways off of that, but I just wanted to respond to that, give you a look at kind of how we stack up compared to other teams, at least on the default rosters. Of course, those teams aren't exactly going to be looking the same right about now, But I want to go ahead, and I think we'll just stay live for this part, at least until we get to the major jump. But I want to take a look at some of the players as well who might be close to going up another level and see what we can do with old Ovi Anderson. Again, I was told it's not pronounced Ovi, but come on. Let's just give me that one. Let me mispronounce someone's name from time to time, would you? That would be great. But like I said, this episode, it's about getting the roster established, of course, moving out some players on loan, perhaps moving out some players in general, and really getting things set up, good to go for the early stages of this next season. Toby Kelly, we can improve that vision. And is there anybody else? We still have Jackson. There is still the debate over whether or not we can keep Jackson and Clark happy. Probably can't keep both of them happy. But at least if we can hold on to one of them until January. I mean, Jackson's going to be the guy to go, but at least if we can hold on to that tandem through January, odds are we'll be out of most of the cup competitions by that point anyway. So Jackson will at least get plenty of work. I think we could do okay in terms of keeping the roster together. There's a couple of loan moves were rejected. Of course, I haven't been doing the whole unassign them from loan offer, putting them on transfer and accepting from there. That still doesn't work all the time anyway. It's kind of annoying for that reason. As you know, well, maybe not. Offer from Monadom retracted. That, in fairness, was a transfer and not a loan offer. You know what? I think this is pretty much all you're going to miss. The problem is, most leagues should be over. But we pretty much took a look. I think we're good, right? I think we're good. I think we're fine. I don't think we're missing out on anything if I sim to the beginning of next season. So I'm going to do that. I'll talk to you guys in a few minutes. You're only going to miss a little bit of training. And in terms of the league, I think I showed everything. If I didn't, it is what it is. Okay, maybe I'll see you a little bit sooner before the start of next season. We do have a scouting report to get to. Our actual next three as Guzman wasn't loaned out, so let's take a look. Out of Portugal, Jorge Murillo will not be signed for obvious reasons. Sandro Sequeira will not be signed. Guilherme Noronha. God, I hope none of these guys are signed just for the names. And Francisco Acuna will not be signed either. So Portugal, a bit of a swing and a miss thus far. Mr. Walsh in South America. What do you got for us? You got Gatsha Wagana, who will not be signed, unfortunately. Thoko Letele. My God, these names. Ketso Wagana will be signed for obvious reasons. Bobang Sebe. Oh, God, I wish you were signed. Great name. And Jomo Dubé will not be signed. But, God, the names are great. And then Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy in Australia. Max Hill will not be signed. Harvey Allen will not be signed. Elliot Morris, get out of here. Harrison Jackson, get out of here. And Cameron Edwards. So, only one player in that entire group. Kind of disappointing. We actually have another quick update here as Duarte, one of our strikers in the Youth Academy, wants out. So I figured now's a good time to take a look at everyone else. Placido Cano, I think we're going to keep, but a 59 is a little bit low. Solomon Nunez is a 48. We're going to drop him for obvious reasons. Breen is a 60 at 18. Decent chance he gets cut. Benzai as well. Valaba's okay for the moment. Peter Feeney, Archie Bailey still quite low. Craig Breen's a 42 at 17 years old. He is on the way out. Galliano's looking good. Miranda's looking good. Liam O'Donnell, not too bad at this point. Ketso Wagana's a 50 at 17 years old. I'm going to drop him for that reason, so he wasn't around for too long. Duarte, though, at 18, is a 63 overall, 83 to 94 potential. We will be signing him to the Youth Academy, and we'll try to get him out on loan. All right, because I genuinely couldn't remember, I am going to give you a quick look at the other leagues just to see what happened, mainly because I want a refresher myself. Man City ended up winning the Premier League. We'll be taking on Nottingham Forest, Stoke, and Wigan next season, as they have all been relegated. Over in France, shocker, PSG won the league. In Germany, Bayern, shockingly, wins the league. In Italy, Juventus finishes third. Napoli actually takes the crown. I'll check the Eredivisie for the hell of it, as Feyenoord beat PSV by 1 point. Not bad. And in Spain with La Liga, Valencia just dominates the league. That is kind of shocking. I'm intrigued to see what some of these teams look like. Don't ask me to check the MLS, because their season does not end at the same time. So they are in the beginning stages of their season. The reason why I wanted to check is that the Champions League was just finalized, as we'll take one more look at these tournaments. Hopefully they don't take too long to load, but they will. The FA Cup went to Man United 2-0 over Liverpool. Carabao Cup, if I remember right, went to Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken. No, it went to Bournemouth, 2-0 over Chelsea. This is what happens when you play multiple career modes at once, one online and one offline, as Atletico Madrid beat Manchester United 5-4 on penalties to win the Champions League. The Europa League also decided Spurs over Arsenal. Interesting. And the World Cup is currently going on. I'll try to make sure we catch who wins this. But in Group A, it's Belgium, Switzerland, Bulgaria, and Colombia. Germany, Denmark, Mexico, Uruguay. Group C is England, Norway, Australia, Venezuela. Argentina, Turkey, Russia, and India in Group D. Group E is Italy, Hungary, Romania, and the Ivory Coast. Group F, Spain, Ireland, the United States, and Cameroon. Group G, France, Greece, New Zealand, and South Africa. And Group H, Brazil, the Netherlands, Poland, and Egypt. That might be the group of death right there. We'll keep an eye out on what happens in the World Cup as we move on towards this next season. It's a little early stage of the episode's taking a little bit longer than expected, but that's how it happens. We do get our monthly update. But yeah, for now, we are good. I need to sim through June. We'll actually have another update in a moment in terms of scouting report and all that. There's still a lot to get to before we get to the beginning of next season. More scouting updates. Let's get to it. Not the final reports, the second of three. We start off in Portugal with Agostinho Madeira, who will not be signed. Alvaro Estevez will not be signed. Emmanuel Aguiar will not be signed. Victor Pereira will not be signed. And wow, Portugal has been a gigantic swing and a miss for us. Walsh with David Radebe in South Africa will be signed. Simfui Kampa, no. Mendy Joma will not be signed, and Fikile Issa, God, these names, he will not be signed either. Kennedy finds Joel Roberts in Australia. We'll sign him up for the moment. Oscar Cox will not be signed. Nicholas Hall will not be signed. Brandon Davies will not be signed. Harvey Mitchell will be signed, not as if we need more goalkeeping talent. Tyler Shaw will not be, and Isaac Morgan will not be. So we at least had a couple of additions. We got that going for us, I guess. All right, so we are here. It is the start of a brand new season. We are ready to begin our preseason tournament. But before that, a very interesting transfer offer has just come through. That being for one Max Jackson, who is 21 years old, a 78 overall, as opposed to Clark, who's 20 years old and an 80. Of course, right now, in terms of the goalkeeping situation, we have a decent amount of depth, not only with players already on the roster, but in the youth academy with Clark. Granero was loaned out, but we also have Dragicevic and Budwani. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world here to let go of Jackson, have Dragicevic be the second team keeper, and hopefully loan out Budwani. We have options. I mean, Budwani is 4 years, Budwani's 4 years younger. Dragicevic is 1 year younger, 4 overall points weaker than Jackson. It's not that big of a drop-off. We get rid of a little bit of that clutter. We get back a decent amount of money as well, which again, without using regens, we don't have to worry about the transfer budget outside of anything except for re-signing players and bringing in better youth staff to hopefully eventually get to 5-star with everybody, although our scouts already are phenomenal, hence why we have this much talent. So I gotta be honest, I think I'm gonna accept this and more than likely let him go. It does say his market value is between 15.6 and 22.9. I'm going to delegate it, and we'll see what it comes up with. I'll let the assistant manager handle that, but I think Max Jackson is more than likely on his way out. Surprisingly, perhaps, but a big money offer like that seems to be worth it to me. Of course, we have some players right now who are out on international duty. Our two center backs, of course, looking very good. Wilson, the Canadian, and O'Leary, the Irishman. So I'm going to have to change up some of that, but you can see right now the amount of players we have in the reserves. We are going to need to clear that out, hopefully, over the next few days. And you know what? With this being With this being the preseason tournament, normally I'll put a little bit of effort into this, but I think for now, I'm just going to set it up like that, leave the team as is, because I want to find out if Jackson is going to be on the way out. So we're playing a Turkish club here. Not too concerned about how these results go for us. We end up winning 4-1. All right, well, send us to the Turkish Super League. We might have an opportunity there with how well our team is shaping up. That's going to be from Johannesson both times out. We also have our final scouting reports coming up from Australia, Portugal, and South Africa. I'm excited for that. The World Cup, I believe, is coming to a close. At least it should be. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Actually, no. Let's double check as to whether or not that has concluded. The FIFA World Cup. Where are we? We're in the semifinals. England, France, Belgium, and Spain. Very interesting. We'll rejoin that at the end, and we'll take a look throughout the tournament's history, I suppose. I'm gonna keep the preseason roster the same for the moment. This is normally where I'd get some other guys some playing time, but for now, let's just go through. And you know what? Drawing Hamburg is great for us. I mean, they're a decent Bundesliga side, so to get a draw when we're not using our full strength team, we're looking much better than I thought we would have. This was definitely a step up as we get a loan offer for Ivan Duarte, who we can hopefully look to loan out. The striker situation has changed quite a bit, with Meyer, of course, still being our top guy, but Montandon, I think it's Montandon, I believe, or something like that. I think there's an N. It's not Montandon. But regardless, he's actually our second best option now in terms of strikers. So Kelly is going to look to be the depth option. I'm going to try to sell Shaw and loan out Duarte. As Jackson, it's looking like we'll be getting $16.3 million for Jackson. I'm going to accept that. He's going off to Spain with Real Sociedad. We'll also look to loan out Placido Cano to the Montreal Impact. So we'll see what happens there. But that's a very interesting move with Jackson being on the way out. So Dragicevic is going to be the backup option at keeper now, which is kind of nice, and then hopefully we can still look to loan out Budawani. So I'm actually going to remove Dragicevic. He does need a new contract. Oh, the menu lag sometimes here. We'll just go to block offer. He's very unhappy. He won't be for long. He is going to be the second option at goalkeeper this year. I do need to set up this roster because I would like us to make it out of the group stage of this preseason tournament. As, let's see, that was fine. I accepted the loan offer for Cano from Montreal Impact. And then we also have a transfer offer for Brandon Davies, who has just been jumped in terms of his importance to the team. So we've done well in getting that overall up to get the value up a little bit higher. But yeah, overall, he needs to be on the way out. So let's take a look here, actually, at this roster. Budawani wanted the chance, and I think we will give him that opportunity. Let's just play Dragicevic on the bench for the hell of it. Oh boy, give me a minute to set up this team. We'll make a jump cut, and we'll be back in a second. I might just sim through the game anyway, but I'll talk to you in a second. Alright, so we ended up drawing that game. Thankfully, we do move on to the next round against Sporting. Oh god, I know it's Gijon, but I have no idea. Gijon, is it perhaps? I don't know. I actually never learned how to say that name correctly. Unfortunately, Cano did not go out to Montreal Impact. We do get a transfer offer for Shaw. It's Velez Sarsfield. I have no idea where they are, but I am going to try and see Billy Shaw's exit from the club. He has been jumped. There is an agreement for Brandon Davies' sale as well that I will accept. We'll see how that goes. And we also get an extra $928K. Budawani, you're welcome for giving you a chance in the team. Let's take a look here training-wise if I have to change up anything, and I do. Let's take out Kovac, and let's see. Is anyone close to leveling up? Clark is. We have Mitchell in the academy. Is there anyone else who's super close? Bailey, but he already has a little bit of training time. You know, we're actually looking pretty good. Guzman, Sanchez, not looking that bad. Let's give it to Guzman, with him being one of our newer recruits, and we'll just go for that little short passing boost. But there we go, man. Cordoba up to a 67, Cano up to a 61, Bailey a 67, and Medved a 71. Medved, of course, our starting left back at the moment. So our first team, I think that's at the very least what I want to accomplish in this episode, is our final scouting reports are coming up here from our 3 most recent nations, as Duarte has been loaned out, which is good news. And we get a loan offer for Ewan Morgan from Cardiff City, which is also ideal to send him out. Right now, Eklund and Luna are above him in the depth chart on that right-hand side. And on the left-hand side, we still got Anderson, who's so goddamn good. He's 18 years old on a 75 overall, is Ove Anderson. It's kind of nuts, unless I forgot to update that. We also get a loan offer for Guzman from Wigan. So we would be competing with him this year. But let's take a look at our final few reports. We start off in Australia with Callum Thomas, who will sign up for now. Ewan Collins, who will sign up for now. Reese Brown, not going to happen. Morgan Davis, 76 to 94, looking good. Taylor Price, no thank you. Oliver Rose, no thank you. And Marcus King, no thank you. But a decent way to round out the scouting in Australia. Next up is South Africa with Simfwe Dube. No, get out of here. Silope Make. No. Jomo Kampa. I wish, but no. Bobangisa. No. Well, I'm going to have to say that name, aren't I? I'm going to have to learn how to say it. Kalada will be signed, and Leod Tulip. Jesus, these names. We'll go ahead and reject him. And the final report, unless I hit the B button first, which I did. It's a good fail. Who do we have here? Portugal's been a bit of a swing and a miss for us. Francisco Acuna will be signed. We are going to have to cut somebody, which is fine. It's going to be Peter Feeney, unfortunately, the Northern Irishman. Is there anybody else? Not at the moment, so let's kind of hope that Acuna is the last decent guy to sign. Mendez, Pauletta, Florencio Caldera needs to be signed, so let's take a look here. Again, I'm going to try not to sign anybody until I have to. I'm looking, okay, so 59 overall at 18 years old. Harvey Mitchell can be cut. Not going to bother putting the time into developing him. We'll let somebody else do it. So that ends the scouting reports in the 3 most recent nations. Let's see where we're going next. Let's see. Okay, I think I got it down. We're going to send the Irishman to Scotland for the memes. So that's good. Let's go ahead and send the Irishman up to Scotland. And we have 2 to decide from here with Africa. Ghana or the Ivory Coast? I think we're going to go Ivory Coast first. And Jamie Carter is between Hungary and Turkey. And I think... Is Hungary even an option? I don't think it is. It's not. All right. Well, that's a decision made easy. I was going to say, I didn't think that it was. We are going... Boy, this D-pad. Yeah, we're going to Turkey then. So, there you go. Turkey is the next place to go. So, like I said, Scotland, the Ivory Coast, and Turkey. So, right now, the only nation on the list for me that we haven't scouted out yet is Ghana. And that is where we'll go next. And aside from that, we're going to continue to do our world tour here in terms of trying to scout out every location before going back and doing some of the nations over again. So that's all well and good. Again, could have hired better scouts right then and there, but I think we're still good for now. We'll hold on to some of the money, especially too with us having to take care of some things. But there you go, Max Jackson on his way out, officially gone to Real Sociedad. So Dragicevic will be the second choice keeper this season. We get another loan offer for Joaquin Guzman. We'll try to loan out. There's also agreement now for the sale of Billy Shaw for only $1.8 million, which again kind of sucks, but for me it's just about getting him off of this team. I could loan him out, but I have better faith, and that is the debate, whether or not I loan people out or just let them go. But I do like to kind of have it set up like striker-wise. We have our first team, our second team, a depth option, and then a loanee. And that way, if we bring in anybody from the youth academy, we don't have too much clutter with like, oh, all of a sudden 3 players are back from loan, and now you have 7 strikers. And it's like, yeah, I'd rather not. So we'll bring in Clark for this game. In terms of the defense, Medved will be in as the starting left back. Harrison Wright is our starting right back. Center back wise, it's going to be Johannesson and Kelly. So we'll have Richardson and Cox on the bench. Although, yeah, let's go with those two. Maybe. Weber, our backup, our lefty option, and Richardson is the next best center back. So there we go. That's all good to go. In terms of up front here, let's get Timo Meyer into the team. Montadon, not at 100%, so we'll keep Kelly there. He's our third team option right now. Still 19 years old. Really good work rates. The weak foot is a little bit concerning. And in terms of the two cams, let's go with Morgan and Kelly. They are the best two. And that's between Berezovsky and Sip. Let's go with Sip. He didn't play in the last game. Altonen is our starting CDM. So at the very least, you guys are getting a pretty good look at how this team is going to be shaping up this season. Again, we'll bring in Anderson. Indeed, just 18 years old. Only a one-star weak foot, but he has the potential to really be a key player for us this season. And then out on the right, it's between Eklund and Luna. Eklund just played, so Luna will get the opportunity. From there, the bench is good. That is the team. That is basically our first team outside of the two center backs. So at the beginning of the episode, when we looked at teams like Aston Villa and what they start off as, we're at that level, especially with Moritz Meyer up front and Clark in goal. We should have a good season. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to be at title-winning level. I don't know if we're going to be in a playoff spot as we end up winning the game. Sip picks up an injury. Anderson gets the only goal in the 4th minute. I would like to think, though, at the very least, we're not going to be threatened with relegation this season. As Guzman's loan move was rejected, we get another offer from Billy Shaw. This one from Leicester. Very interesting. We'll go ahead and delegate that for the sake of time. And in terms of tournament prize money, an extra 1.6 million. Sip is out for 4 months. Yikes. That changes things potentially. Now, we don't have any extra cams that we were looking to get rid of. Arne is currently out on loan. That could change things up. And Sip has been pretty injury prone over the last few years as Ewan Morgan's been loaned out, and hopefully Budwani will go to, I believe, yeah, he is Dutch. Hopefully we can send them out to the Eredivisie. That would be great. And Dragicevic, don't worry, buddy. Jackson's spot is your spot. But that injury to Sip could hurt. That will see Clark get a little bit more playtime this year, which, in terms of this team, I'm going to try to keep it about the same. So this guy right here, Clark, is going to be getting a little bit more playing time thanks to that injury, although Berezovsky will go to the bench. I'm going to put Montadon there. Cordoba or Bailey? Who is higher up on the list? Cordoba. We'll get him on the bench. Let's get Roberts on the bench over Sanchez. And we're pretty much good. I'm going to play Eklund over Luna in this game, even though he's in pretty poor form. Let's have Berezovsky in rather than Kelly. And Wilson and O'Leary are both back, so that's great. We'll get them into the lineup, and hopefully we can beat Hamburg in this game. I think the roster's pretty much good. We're not at 100% fitness, but it should be good enough to hopefully compete here. Can we win this preseason tournament? Like I said, I wanted to mainly follow along. I haven't really followed along with these preseason tournaments because they haven't been that important. But in this final here, we're playing a decent Bundesliga team. So this is a good way to measure how we're shaping up at this point. And we have a 1-0 lead at halftime, and immediately they score in the 46th minute to start the second half. But another goal there for Anderson was pretty solid. Moritz Meyer in the 65th minute. Is that going to be enough? Have we won a preseason tournament? Yes, we have. 2-1. There we go. So just to kind of showcase where we are right now, that's kind of what this episode was about. In terms of comparing us to championship level sides, we can compete, and apparently we are good enough as well to win a preseason tournament, as Davies has been sold. Hopefully we can end up loaning out Kano. Heidenheim, was it? I think is a German third team by default. We end up getting $2 million for that. And again, Brandon Davies is on the way out. So an early injury to Sip, loaning out a couple of players as well. But I'm liking how the team is taking shape. And really, I don't know. Let's check the World Cup at this point. It should be over. And that might be a decent little stopping point, as this was primarily a maintenance episode. But just to get you a look at the level of competition this season, I mean, hell, Aston Villa's still there. I'm sure their roster has changed, but there's no real surprising teams here, aside from the fact that maybe like Stoke, Swansea, and West Brom haven't found their way back into the Premier League. But there's no real surprising names there for me. Let's take a look at the World Cup. Is it over? It is. France wins the World Cup. Let's take a look at the journey there. So in Group A, it was Switzerland and Belgium going through. Group B, Germany and Denmark. That was actually a really tough group too. Group C, it was England and Australia making it through. Argentina and Russia in Group D. Group E, Italy and the Ivory Coast. Group F, Spain and Cameroon. Group G, France and Greece. And in Group H, Brazil and the Netherlands made it through. So in the round of 16, you had Switzerland beating Denmark on pens. England beat Russia. Italy smoked Cameroon. And France destroyed the Netherlands. Belgium 3-0 over Germany. That's insane. Argentina beat Australia. Spain beat the Ivory Coast. And Brazil beat Greece. In the quarters, you had England over Switzerland. France over Italy on pens. Belgium over Argentina. And Spain over Brazil. Semifinals, apparently doesn't want to load? Okay. Well, put it this way. We know... Oh, okay. It's kind of broken. There we go. France beat England and Belgium beat Spain. England takes home third place, beating Spain 1-0. And again, France beats Belgium to win back-to-back World Cups. So that is that. We are, again, pretty much good to go. I think I'll at least get us to our first game of the season. So I'll keep training the same for now. It's not that big of a deal to bump up these guys a little bit more. Not my normal style, but it's not as if it's detrimental for me to be a little bit lazy. So let's see if I can get us to the first game of the season at the very least. Guzman has been loaned out, which is nice, and Shaw has also been sold. So there you go. Guzman was the depth option at left wing / left mid. Billy Shaw on the way out, and we're still trying to loan out Cano. We get the second offer for him from an MLS side. This time it's the Portland Timbers, and again, hopefully he'll be on the way out. And for the sake of time, I've gone ahead and simmed forward. We are here. Opening day, we take on Cardiff. It's a home game. I'm excited to see how we do. It is going to be the only game that we sim in this episode, but I wanted to get you guys a look at the lineup. That's what today was about. Getting everything set, giving you a look at how our competition kind of measures up, and really just kind of trying to establish where we are at this point. But this is the team on opening day. Moritz Meyer wearing the captain's band. Should he be captain, by the way? Let me know what you think. We have Morgan and Kelly, Anderson, Altonen, and Luna rounding out that midfield. The defense, Medved, O'Leary, Wilson, and Wright. The goalkeeper, of course, Clark, as you get a look at what our preferred bench would be, and some of the reserve options as well. We're going to have a solid second team, and hopefully someone like Cano still ends up going out on loan, but we're going to have a solid second team as well, which is going to be crucial for some of these cup matches. I think we are going to prioritize the league over the cup matches, so our second team will be playing the majority of those. But with everything that we've looked at in this episode, what do you think? How are we going to do this season? Do you think there's a chance of us competing for promotion for the third straight season, or is this going to be kind of a middle of the table run, or are the wheels just going to fall off? Are we magically going to be, in my opinion, magically, because I don't expect this, but are we going to find ourselves battling just to stay in the league? Let me know what you think. Let's do this. Let's end this episode with our first game in the championship against Cardiff. Let's see if we can start off this campaign on a strong note. Highlights on the other side as we get the opening goal. Anderson is on fire so far through the early stages of this season, but they have someone like Carter Vickers on defense. Kelly makes it Kelly makes it 2-0, a goal in the 32nd minute, which is crazy. Meyer makes it 3. And everyone in the championship better be on alert. Tranmere Rovers are here. 4-0 final and our opening game of the season. What will this year bring for us? What is this season going to be? As we do lose Josh Wilson for 5 days. Budawani, by the way, was loaned out. We'll take one look at the youth academy, by the way, just to potentially clear anybody out who doesn't need to be here. Bailey's still an interesting one where he's just not improving, unfortunately. But, I mean, this academy is still stacked. We're going to let go of Miranda. And O'Donnell's an interesting one. I think I'm going to drop him too, though, unfortunately. Really strong player, but we do have to be extremely ruthless about this. Quite a few of the new recruits are being dropped. But them's the breaks. Them's the breaks. So there we go. That is our youth academy. At the moment, the team is established. What will this next season bring? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out through the first week. Tranmere Rovers, top of the league. Hopefully we can get used to saying that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to support the video, not only for me to help me out with all of YouTube's algorithms, but hey, apparently the more you interact with videos, the more likely it is that YouTube will actually tell you when I've uploaded. So if you've been enjoying this series so far like I have, make sure to drop the video a like and all that fun stuff. I will see you guys in the next episode. Our first season in the championship gets underway. Technically, it's already underway. We make a little bit of a dent in terms of progression. I'll see you guys next time.